Okay. Okay. All right, let me... Let me see how everything's working. Sorry about that. All right. So I'm going to do something different today. This is a project that I started working on in August. It's a little game that I think I initially tried to make in Godot. And then when Godot made me angry, I just switched to Python because I have more experience in Python. I had honestly considered myself passingly good in Python, even for someone who only does it as basically a hobby. So, maybe I should try and display what my goal is here, because there is a goal in mind. Do I have like MS Paint? No, I'm gonna have to do it on the web. Okay, OBS. Capture. That. All right. So it's a game that is supposed to be a little. I mean, you pilot a little spaceship. That's the main gist of it. My eventual design, my first thought, or like my dream goal, was to have basically golf, but you are piloting a ship and you are using the physics of orbits to get to like the destination in the least amount of time with the least amount of fuel used. And so yeah, you'd have like planet here, planet here, planet here, and then destination here with a little flag or something. And then you start like orbiting this moon with your little fucking ship. And so you want to go like, and then orbit around once and then sling that way. And then orbit around and sling that way. And it is so, like, you need a good understanding of mathematics and orbital mechanics to play it, but I think it would be fun as fuck just to play you and a couple friends. Like, yeah, the eventual goal is you have multiplayer, you'd each, okay. Multiplayer is the eventual goal. I'll start with what I had envisioned for like the actual gameplay. Part of it is manual control, like you would be able to turn and accelerate your ship with your arrow keys or whatever. Part of it is also like a menu. So like at the beginning of the game or something, or even during the game, you can pull up this menu that says that's like if anyone here has played Factorio, it would look a bit like the train logic window, where you've got like an if, and then a condition that's like thrust 4, and then there's like drop downs that's like this is a drop down, and then it once you click that, another drop down will appear, and it's like thrust until thrust 4, and then you basically program what direction you want to thrust and how long and until what speed, and then like you can say, if I'm going this speed in this direction, thrust this way, or if I'm at this position, thrust this way, stuff like that. that is the pipe dream, and you can and like the vision was there would be something like a plot route or a map route button here that would show you basically this line saying, okay, if you have all of these things here, this is what your path is going to look like until the end. And so you can fiddle around with it and see if you can get the perfect path and stuff like that. And then you have like a meter up here that shows your fuel, and it would it would be full at the beginning, and then as you input more commands with thrust, you could see you could see how much fuel that would take and stuff like that. And then eventually, once you actually run the program, you can say like run. Once you actually run it, then the fuel starts counting down. And like I said, you can manually control, you can make like manual adjustments. It's probably not a good idea, but it could be fun. And it's multiplayer. So like the gameplay loop would be like you and your friends spawn in, all orbiting the same sort of planet. You want to get here. You have a certain amount of time, like maybe 5-10 minutes to plot out a basic route, and then once everyone is ready, like instead of a run here, it would be ready. Once everyone's ready, then it all takes action, and everyone goes off at the same point. And yeah, so it's a little competitive, where like the amount of fuel you use, the time it takes to get there, and stuff like that all contribute to like a score at the end, probably like a grade score, S through D or whatever. And then whoever has the highest score at the end wins. So, and this is supposed to be a pretty scale model. Like you would see your ship moving close to another, and you'd like look at the distance between them, and it would be like 1,000 miles or something. So like there's no chance that you're gonna run into another player. I might code it just on the off chance that there is. But maybe like it's a sequence of different courses, and like after one course, the amount of points you get contributes to like prize money basically, and then you can go to a shop and buy upgrades that do like your ship uses less fuel, you have rail guns that you can fire at your opponents to throw them off course. I don't know. It is a pipe dream. It is something that I'm not sure I have the knowledge in coding or physics to fully realize yet. But it is something that I want to try to make work. And so what I'm planning is just do like every Thursday at least an hour of just coding, and then I don't know, post it. I don't intend anyone to see it. It's really just there for me to have a reason to continue doing it, I guess. What else am I gonna say? I am not a computer science person. I'm a fake computer science person, in the sense that I am better at computer science than a lot of my chemistry peers. The first time I learned Python, it was from my physical chemistry professor, who taught us one course of basically just how to use Python. He taught us how NumPy works. He taught us like the basic syntax of Python. He taught us how SciPy works and things like that. And that was good, and I really enjoyed it. And so I started working on my own pet projects, and that's where I learned the majority of the rest of Python. I learned how to use like pandas. I learned what lists were. I learned just like if and for and while loops. And then I took a actual computer science class once I was like, well, this is kind of something I want to do. I want to be a computational chemist. So I took an actual computer science class that was basically just Python, and that I got bored in that class. It didn't really teach me like what I'd hoped to learn, which is just like the etiquette and like the principles behind computer science. But it did teach me classes a little bit. It was like at the end of the term, and I was kind of focused on other shit, but I did kind of absorb what classes were, so that was helpful. And I also learned what like tuples and libraries were. I didn't not libraries, dictionaries. I learned what dictionaries were. I didn't know what dictionaries were, and that was such a handicap. I'll be so honest. Anyway, so this is my devlog. You can see I started it in August, and then I stopped working on it in September. And it is currently January of the next year. So, I guess today is going to be a lot of reading through my code and trying to see how it works and see if my annotations are up to snuff. I think the best time to annotate a piece of code is after you've put it down for like 3 months and you have no idea what the fuck you were doing. Because then you're like, oh, I should have annotated this. And then you can go back and read through it and be like, oh, okay, here's what I can annotate so that I don't have this problem in the future. I might get water real quick. But that was my introduction, and I will be right back. Okay. So the point of that spiel was to say that if you are a computer science person and you see just how fucked my code is, I'm sorry. I try my best. Okay. So, this is my code. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Let me show you all the progress that I've made so far. So, this is the game window. Here's a little ship that you have. I have an asteroid model here that I was going to test out collisions with and gravity with. You can see the ship position on the grid here. This is the mouse position. And then acceleration and velocity vectors. So you press the arrow keys and you add some acceleration, and then you press other arrow keys, add more acceleration, and then it contributes to your velocity, which changes your position. Simple as. It's just kinematics. I have a special button that tries to set your velocity to 0. I need to fix it so that it actually does set your velocity to 0. But for the time being, that's what I got. So, starting up here, we got imports. Gotta try and accept. I'm surprised I knew how to do that. I barely know how to do that right now. But, tries to import Pygame. If it can't, then it installs. And then it tries again. And then import NumPy, import math, pandas, pathlib, physics. Initialize Pygame. I'm using Pygame, which is supposedly a game engine for Python. And it's working. So, screen height and width. Setting up the screen. Clock, which I'm assuming is like my time. I don't know where I put that, but it should say, it should be like something that determines the time per frame or something like that, or determines seconds based on number of frames, that sort of thing. This makes it so that it's running. dt equals 0. dt is something that's important. Alright. Puts the player here. Makes a empty vector for velocity. Maybe I should be writing these down. I mean, if I don't know what's going on, maybe I figure it out and then write it down, because I know what's going on here. My font. I needed a typeface. All right. Pause count. This is some variable that I use later that I set to 0 at the start or something. Directory is there. Oh, this is to get like the actual current directory. Testoid. So this is the asteroid position and velocity. All right, and this is class. This is the class for the player, the ship. All right. So acceleration. This is loading each sprite. It might be a little redundant, but this is like positive y, negative y, negative x, each with thrust or no thrust. And it's loading them all into a list so that I just have a thing. And then the self index says 4, which means that it starts here, 1, 2, 3, 4. No thrust, positive y. It says, okay, when I put my ship in, there's going to be no thrust, and it's going to be facing positive y. this just gets the image and then says, okay, here's what the height is, here's what the width is, based on the image height and width. This is something that I spent a lot of fucking time on. This is the hitbox. This is basically what says, this is the player. It's a rectangle around the ship that defines where it is and what it is doing. I've got an arbitrary mass. I think I looked at, like, what was the mass of some rocket or something. This will be useful later. Surface blit. This draws the actual image, so yeah, it blits the image at player position. Update count. Rect update. Oh, this updates the rectangle. It updates the rectangle to be at the same player X and Y position, and then it also updates to make sure the height and width are the same. Fascinating. Oh, and this is how I figured out where the hitbox is. I'm glad I annotated that. That's nice. This is to scale if I wanted to make the ship bigger at all, stuff like that. That's another thing in my pipe dream, is like you'll be able to scroll in and scroll out to like zoom in and zoom out on your ship. I don't know. Movement. If count equals 1, oh, okay. I understand now. So the reason that I update the width and the height is so that so the count is determined down here, yeah. So like if I'm moving up, the count is 1, moving down, the count is 2, moving left, count is 3, moving right, count is 4, and then I put that here so that if I'm moving 1 or 2 up or down, then the width and the height are proportionate. So like the width will be smaller, the height will be longer, and then if I'm moving left or right, the height will be longer, the height will be shorter, the width will be longer. That makes sense. I promise that makes sense. I could probably show if I need to. I don't know if I want to though. And same sort of thing here. I'm saying that if movement during movement, if count equals 1, then the image will be 0, which is positive Y thrust, and then 1, 2, 3 for negative Y, positive X, negative X thrust. These are all thrust images, and then no thrust images are down here, saying like animating the thing depending on which button you press. And the no movement says that even if I'm not pressing a button, I will still have a position. That was a loud spike. I hope my fucking mic isn't too loud. Anyway, because otherwise it would just keep, it would just revert back to this. It would revert back to the positive X, no thrust. Yeah, that's a collision detection. I think I used that and I just said print. Print to see if I'm colliding. Here's the asteroid. $500 kilograms? Sure. And then saying player is equal to the class ship. Tester is equal to class asteroid. Why did I do this? Sprite group. Ooh, object group. Is that up here? I wonder why I did that. Okay, and then while running. If the thing is running, this is what's happening. So for event in Pygame, get if event type equals quit, it stops running. Fill the screen with black. Keys are whatever keys are pressed. Blank acceleration vector starting each time I run. It's just at the start of the while loop, reset the acceleration. If I press up, I have made it so that up or W works. Then I add 1 to the acceleration, and or subtract 1 from the acceleration Y. It's weird. It's really weird that they do that. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Okay. It's really weird. So when you're taught math, you've got the fucking coordinate grid. This is Y. This is X. This is positive Y. This is negative Y. This is positive X. This is negative X. It's flipped. At least this is flipped. Positive Y is down here. Why? I don't know. Right hand rule, baby. The X and Y, the X, positive and negative, is correct. Mathematically correct. I don't know. Okay. This is my break button. I press X because I'm an Elite Dangerous player and I made X my break button in that game. And so it says if my player velocity magnitude is greater than or less than 0, I figure out the acceleration to get my velocity down to 0 in 5 minutes or 5 seconds, something like that. And I set my acceleration to that, and then I do my velocity equals acceleration times time, position equals velocity times time, stuff like that. And then else, this is the normalization. I normalize each vector to make sure that it is equal when I press 2 direction buttons. So if I'm pressing up and left, then it's the same amount of acceleration as if I'm just pressing up. Which, thanks to the Pythagorean theorem, Is not always the case. Vent. If no keys are being pressed, that's not gonna. This is only if no keys are pressed, which might come back to bite me later. Yeah, so this is the no movement. It says if there are no keys pressed, change the sprite. This is periodic boundaries. So let me display what that means. So if I run my ship off this way, right, reach the edge of the screen, boop, there I am on the other side. So that's what a periodic boundary is. That's not going to be kept in the full game, if I ever make a full game, but it is useful for just, like, I don't know, playing around with. I think I can just go forever now. I think velocity is in decimeters per second. So like 1/10 of a meter per second. Oh wait. It would be decameter. So 10 meters per second. That's acceleration that kills you. Okay. Another note. So, okay, let me... Okay, I'm going to note something here. This is the brake button. Should key rates and acceleration bring the ship to a stop. Problem 1. Actually, I'll put it as a fix me. The ship never reaches a full stop. Always just still has fraction its velocity. Fix me number 2. This is nice, but could be nicer if I change the sprite to match acceleration. Anyway, what was this? Yeah, periodic boundaries. This is the print. This is the print that I was like, oh, if it's colliding, print yes. I wonder if that still works. So keep an eye on our Python down there on the screen. Wrong way. We're gonna take it slow. Supposedly, if the rectangle of the ship crosses the rectangle of the asteroid, it'll just print yes. Wait for it. Yes. Awesome. Well. Okay. See, I don't necessarily need that. It could be useful to figure out if you're colliding though. Oh, how does it work? Like that? Yeah. It's been a while since I used Python at all. This is a collision tester. Just sees if two rectangles are overlapping. This is the labels. This is the velocity, acceleration, position. There you go. Draw screen. Oh, this draws the player. Pygame display flip? What? DT. So this is the clock. Clock.tick 50 divided by 1,000 times 5? I don't know what I was doing there. Okay. Where does it? Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so I guess goals for the day. You may notice the acceleration meter. So watch here. When I press a button, it just flickers. I don't want it doing that. I want it to just be a solid number. I want it to say, oh yeah, you're accelerating that much. I don't know how to fix it though, so then I don't know. Oh, it could be fun. That's a little fun little thing that I can do eventually. These are physics things. I think right now, those are a little daunting, just getting back into it. So maybe today I fix up the things that I noted, like the X key. And if I feel like it, I can add the collision physics, or like start working on collision physics. This may be insane to some people. This might seem insane, but I don't know. Maybe I'll need them. You never know. I think something I want to do is figure out how the vectors in Pygame work. Like, can I just do math on them like an array or a list, or is it like a specific function that I have to use? I don't know. Let's save. And while I'm at it, let's push it. I hope streaming this isn't gonna like send out my keys. What are they called? Whatever the things that I don't know. Okay. I also have this IPYNB that's really just the same thing as the Pi file, but it's just like a test file. I don't know why. Maybe I just only work on this from now on. I think it's a little more organized in my eyes. I like the way it looks. A little better. Oh. Okay. So, ship never reaches a full stop. Let's do an if. Abs. Layer. I don't know why I didn't do. Is going to be less than 0.01. Oh, I put the bool inside the fucking function. And then while I'm here, else if can I just do player bell equals 0? Run it. Group, yeah. Oh, didn't like it. Yeah. Vector 2 and float. Oh, so what I have to do is same thing I do up here, which is just reset it by game vector 2. Where was that? Here? Yeah. And I think I should also make the limit a little higher. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, let's make it like 0.9. I like it. Let's see what happens when I zoom it a little bit. I want to see how many G's, actually. So yeah, I've got my base acceleration at 1g, should be. Who knows, based on the flickering there. And the brake button calculates how much acceleration is needed to bring the velocity to 0 in 5 seconds. So this is 1,000 meters per second-ish. That was like 42. That wasn't that bad. That's like a little over like 4.5 Gs. Yeah, that's survivable. Oh, I'm forgetting that it is multiplied by 10. 420-ish. Oh. Yeah, that kills someone. That's why crumple zones are important, kids. Don't get in a car accident. Okay. That's nice. So maybe I... Okay, ship.movement. How did I do that before? Yeah. So... if y less than 0, loss count is 1. If x, y greater than 0, loss count equals 2. If x. How did I... How about and abs y greater than abs, something like that, and then same thing here. If x greater than, right? Less than, okay. Less than 0, and just acceleration x is greater than as acceleration y. Let's count equals 3, and then same shit. Plus count equals 4. just put that here. Run it. It didn't work. What a brig. Oh, maybe I should use a different player update pause count. Player update. Update. Oh, that's for the rectangle. Let's make it a different thing. Buzz count. Count. What are the arguments for movement? Self and count and acceleration. Why did I include why is this here? But what? Maybe no movement takes priority somehow. But no movement is only if no keys are pressed. What? What the frick? I thought this would be an easy thing to implement. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe need to update as well. This is a float. So, yeah. And yeah, I did that right. Movement. I cannot fathom why. This fix me. I can put that in the dev log. I've only been moving one direction. Maybe it works in another direction. Oh yeah, that one works. Okay. That one works. It's only that one. Why doesn't that one work? Is it, wait, does down work too? Down works too. And I might keep that as pause count, so that it does. Undoing what I did. Okay, and that is if if acceleration x is less than 0, right? Because greater than 0. This one's less than 0. Less than 0. Oh, fuck. I understand. Okay. I just didn't change this at all. There we go. That looks nice. Okay. That's cool. Glad I did that. Let's put it in the devlog. Let's call this... Ignore my version notation. This is going to be 0.0.1.d. This is January 8th, 2026. Made the break button a full stop. Made the break button chain at show a thrust direction according to acceleration. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. I think what I like doing actually is I take this up to here, undo that, copy. Jesus fucking Christ, I had a heart attack there. I pressed X instead of C. And then over here. And that way people who don't have Python itself installed can still use VS Code in a Jupyter file. Because I don't know, I sent this to some of my friends and they said they couldn't get the Py file to run, but they could get the IPYNB to run. And probably because they had like Anaconda or something installed. Anyway, I'm not well versed. Let's hit up this. Bash me. Get that. That's fine. What did we do? Fixed the break button visually and mechanically. All right, that was 1 hour in about 15 seconds, I should say. Maybe I stop this stream and then start up like Elite Dangerous. Could see if I could get to the center of the galaxy today. Could be fun. Alright, well, I'll think about it, and I will see you all in a moment.